All right, good evening, everyone.
We're a little late, but it's okay. We were just troubleshooting some stuff. Oh, hang on. I'm hearing myself. There we go.
You what?
I was seeing the stream come through, and I was hearing it. I didn't have it muted.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, yeah.
All right. You are looking pretty fuzzy there, but it's all right.
I mean, I'm so far away from the camera. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But,
I didn't know if it was like the...
well, I've been streaming upstairs where my camera is also far away from me, but less far away.
I see. I didn't know if you were using like the newer webcam. I thought you were using the newer webcam downstairs. Or is it upstairs?
I am using the newer one downstairs, but it's even further away from me. The older webcam is upstairs, but it's a little closer, so it looks fuzzy too, but not as fuzzy because it's closer to me. But this one's really far away.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it's looked better at the same distance. Well, now it's kind of catching up.
Maybe it was out of focus.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, now that I see it, it does look like it's sharper than it was a second ago.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I'm going...
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So, yeah, I guess the RetroTink video came out.
Yeah, it was very relieving for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You released that.
I mean, what's weird about that episode was, oftentimes I find like editing to be the most stressful part of a video. But in this case, I think it was like the materials gathering that was like, it was just really time consuming. And like, I I felt like I had to do a lot of like leaning forward to like look really close at the screen and make sure that everything looked right before recording. And, that was just like physically exhausting, like, doing all that pixel peeping.
Right. Well, I mean, that was, you were doing the 1440p, which is not something that I could have captured from here anyways. So, I mean, like there's... That puts some extra stress, I think, on you.
Yeah. But it was, I think it came together pretty well. I was telling you, I think I edited it the most non-linearly of any video I've ever edited. I mean, I was just dropping stuff beginning, middle, end of the timeline, just in no particular order. And just over time, it finally filled in. There were some people who thought we didn't show enough PS2.
Yeah, but you did a lot of PS2.
I thought I did a lot of PS2. Because like almost any time that there was 480i stuff, I mean, there were a few Saturn, a few PS1, maybe one N6 or one GameCube thing. But like it was almost all PS2, and I almost felt like, like is it too much PS2? But some people are like, some people that's all they wanted to see. But I think something that some people don't think about sometimes is like, well, that's just one console of many consoles. I know the console you want to see may not be, represented by as many games as you want, but like. And I understand, like, there wasn't a ton of that original Xbox stuff in there, for example. There probably could have been more. But, I mean, it's the same thing when people say, like, oh, there's too many Nintendo systems. And it's like, well, Nintendo has made more systems.
Yeah.
So
what can you do?
What can you do about that,
And we just need to show as many different systems as we possibly can. And I recorded like 2 or 3 per system. that I sent to you.
Yeah, I mean it was a lot of material. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like I spent probably I probably did like a 10 plus hour, or probably right at 10-hour, just like marathon session of gathering B-roll, gathering the last comparisons, gathering the last
On
gameplay
Friday?
footage. Yeah, that was for no, I guess that
Or
was
Thursday?
That was Thursday. I just did this marathon session, and that was like covering the last like probably less than 5 minutes of the video. And like it just took a lot. I was thinking about like when we, from the day we decide like, man, we should probably like drop everything and do a RetroTink video. It would be weird if we didn't. But
we got a late start on it.
We could have started earlier, yeah. But from the day that we decided like we should really do this ASAP to the day I finished, that was 16 days. And I would say most days I was probably working 10 to 12 hours, probably 10-ish on average. So if you multiply 16 times 10, that's 160 hours. That's a month's worth of work in like 16 days. It was a lot, but I'm happy with how it turned out, and it seems like most people are too. So,
and it ended up being about 12 minutes longer than you were expecting.
Oh,
you were forecasting even as early as last week.
Well,
or as recently as last week. You were saying, I think it was going to be about 27, 28 minutes.
That was based on the
about
script
2 days later, you said, this is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah. And what was funny too was, you kept running into little things as you were testing that you felt you needed to add to the script. Like your situation with the Master System and the 3DO. And then you sort of figured out some more stuff about downscaling that you added. And what was funny was in the original script, I just wrote this very simple thing where you're just going to like basically talk about, it does this, couple of quick pointers, but you say, we're not going to get into anything crazy because we just did this whole video. And then you like proceed to talk about for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I added a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff onto that segment because being able to stretch it to 16:9 and have it be a proper aspect ratio, even though you're like losing the sides, I think that's kind of important for that.
Yeah,
we're kind of far behind on the donations. I'm going to go ahead and back up because we had $5 almost 15 minutes ago from Rad Ranger.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Saying enjoy the RetroTink 5X video. Great job. Well, thank you. Thank you. There was also $5 from Bit Spasm saying the best part of the 5X video is how much Marc's southern folkishness came out. Honestly, the funniest part of the video. I laughed out loud both times I watched. I thought the your on camera stuff was easily the best part of the video.
I felt like I still felt like I had that 8-7 rant stuck in my throat a little bit, I had a little bit of energy left from that I guess I was able to channel into my on-cam bits.
I see that Shinjan PV is saying that anyone hearing random static in the audio. One of the reasons we started so late is because we couldn't get audio to sound right. I don't know if it has anything to do with any of your settings within Discord, but we're not going to worry about it right now. Because that's why we got a 15-minute.
I can't imagine why that would happen. I don't hear it coming from Coury, so maybe it's
I heard it coming out when you were talking.
Oh, really?
But it's not.
Well, it might be the other microphone.
It's not static. It's just like it's not making it so that I can't hear you. It's just like in your audio.
Well, maybe it might be the other microphone I have set up for the magazine opening, which we'll get to in just a second.
Oh, I see. That probably is it then. There was also $5 from Mike Sherry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying now I want to see if I can get the retro tank. See if I can get the retro tank to work with my Atari 800 component cable, if it gets back in the stock soon. I mean, that is a thing that a lot of people have said in the comments. Oh, it's yet another time that you're doing a video and you can't buy it, and there's nothing we can do about it. And even if we waited until the second it was in stock and then released the video, at some point it would be out of stock.
I mean, it sold out in 7 minutes.
Yeah, but they have more on the way. They're going to have more in June.
Yeah.
In less than a month from now.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's nothing we can do about that.
I mean, I think people have to realize, like,
unless we hide and list and unlist the video as it goes in and out of stock.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to understand it's Mike and his wife shipping them out from their house. You know, I mean, you know, as much as people are like, why can't people keep things in stock? It's like, well, you know, I think you're overestimating the demand for products like this. It's a high demand within a niche, but it's still a niche, you know?
Yeah. And they can only get so many, I guess. Like they only ordered so many at one time, and then they'll have more in a month. You know, it's just the way it is. There's nothing we can really do about it.
Yeah.
There's also $5 from Kodo-kun. Thank you. Saying, as a fellow editor, 10 hours a day is something I cry thinking about. Your work shows through. Great job on the 5X video. Yeah, those long days when you just are sitting in the chair all day long, it can wear you down.
So,
really
sometimes when you're in the middle of that, you just have this feeling. It's just like, man, how do I ever finish these things? Like I get them finished all the time, but it's just like you forget that feeling of accomplishment until it's actually done again.
Yeah, there are people selling retro tanks on eBay for $600, which is
so
if anybody's
stupid.
buying that, that's stupid. Just wait a few weeks.
I mean, like, that annoys me so much more than people selling PS5s on...
There's no way you're going to get $600 worth of use in the next month out of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or $300 worth of additional use.
Yeah. So why don't we get to the magazine?
Yeah, let's just see what you got and skim through it real quick. Then we can get to this game. I'm interested to see what this game is like. I ordered it as well, and I just have it hasn't shipped yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing, you know, I don't think the art from Tom Du Bois is in here anywhere, but you know, he did art for it. That was when I first heard about it, but it's got like a reversible cover with like 2 art styles. It's also got Game Goblin in here.
Goblins.
It's
got the goblins.
It's like Game Genie codes.
That's kind of cool.
But
I know so little about the game, but a lot of people said, "Oh, you should definitely get this while it's available."
Yeah, well, it's pretty good from what I hear, and it seemed pretty cool from the little bit I booted up. So yeah, I'm gonna look away from the magazine as I open it. Here we go.
All right, let's.
You know, I got a shipping notification for my next one like already, and I just got this.
This is ridiculous. They're just coming fast and furious now. All right,
here we go.
I'm watching it.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Oh, hang on. Slowly. It is very, very similar to your last one, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think you're gonna like it. Oh, geez, you are just getting
gameplay.
A lot of these.
Crazy.
It's probably the next month. Was it Killer Instinct on yours before?
Oh, Donkey Kong Country 2.
It's Glacius versus I don't know who the lizard guy is. Oh, so I guess it's probably, I'm guessing probably 95.
It is
then?
95. August 95.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like 95.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, 95 was like the year that I started, like, kind of actively starting to follow games. Like, in the sense that
Yeah.
I was, like, anticipating upcoming games and stuff. Because, like, I kind of look back and feel like, usually I was aware of games I wanted when they released, but like Yoshi's Island was the first one that I was like aware of before release and like super hyped about and had to get day one.
Yeah.
Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, it's probably got all these, it's right around the Saturn launch, obviously.
Head for
And
Saturn.
it looks like that is the Shinjan was asking if that's the SNES or the arcade version. It looks like it's the home version, the SNES version.
Look at this Play It Loud text advertising Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. I remember that very well. It's about time. Not a great ad, for sure. It's cool seeing the screenshots and everything, but it's a very messy looking ad.
Yeah. So is this like, have I only gotten, I got a PlayStation magazine and then 3 game players, I think?
Yeah, you've gone heavy on the game players.
It's a pretty cool comic.
Oh, that's a bad thing.
It's a pretty good
Oh,
comic.
Comic Zone. Yeah, it's a pretty good year, it seems like.
Whoa, what's this? Saturn Ellipse Pad? Is that a thing that released? I guess these are
Saturn.
third party.
Yeah.
That what is that? Is that the turbo button? That blue button on that one right there? Like it makes me think of how
Like
Hori,
a start button.
well, it makes me think of how Hori put the Z button on the face of the Hori pad for the GameCube controller. Oh wow, look at this. Virtual Boy set for August launch, and look at these. Does the Japanese Virtual Boy doesn't have
Like
Famicom colored buttons, does it? I mean,
You're asking the wrong guy.
I mean, if it does, that's completely news to me. I have never seen that before.
You're gonna feel like you need to get a Japanese one now.
Well, no, but I'm curious. I actually kind of I think the Virtual Boy controller is like actually kind of really comfortable.
Ort said 7 is saying that 4 Tink 5X is sold for $500 on eBay.
What is?
Ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Four
sold.
Tink, yeah, are sold,
Jeez.
which is so dumb. Just you're not going to get that extra amount of enjoyment and use out of it to justify waiting, in the next month for that to be worth it.
It says right here, hot on the heels of the Jags price drop to $159.99, Atari unveiled the system's long-awaited virtual reality headset at the E3 show this past May. Did this release? I've never seen this thing before.
But it's for the Genesis?
No, for the Jag.
Oh,
It's
that
called
thing
the
definitely
Jaguar VR.
Yeah, they probably just had so many different things that they were thrown out there saying that it was in various states of development, but there's no way. There's no way that came out. There was 5 pounds or 4.99 pounds from Menergy. Thank you. Saying, hi, love the channel. Quick question. Are there any advantages to getting an NTSC PlayStation 2 over a PAL one using OSSC with the Sony component cables?
Wait, getting a PAL one?
Right.
Why would
versus
you,
an NTSC,
I mean,
yeah.
Are you in PAL regions or not in PAL? I mean, all regions of PS2 support RGB, if that's what you're wondering about. It has nothing to do with RGB.
If you have a choice, I mean, I would get an NTSC one if you're playing it on it.
Games.
Yeah.
All systems can do RGB, but the thing is, Like Component is just like for the games that do support 480p, Component is way easier to use because you have to use sync on green for PS2 480p over RGB, and not all devices support that.
Right. The Tink 5X supports sync on green though.
Does it? Someone asked that.
I mean, I
don't
don't know for sure either, but I'm assuming that it does.
I don't know why it couldn't. The FrameMeister doesn't.
Right. But I'm pretty sure that the
PS2 is hooked up Component. It just because
Right.
even on the FrameMeister, and like if you're using your like 20L5, like you have to like change the sync mode after you activate 480p, and you have to
Right.
switch the FrameMeister then to sync on green. So it's a pain to use. Whereas on Component, it's automatic.
Yeah. I'm assuming that it does support it though.
Chrono Trigger sold 2 million carts in Japan in 2 months, it says.
That's impressive. I wonder how many it sold in the US though. Probably, I bet it didn't even sell anywhere. I didn't even sell 500,000.
No, I mean, obviously the U.S. version is quite expensive. Japanese version is, common.
There's $5 from Shinja on PV.
Thank you.
Saying, try Virtual Boy RGB 200 level episode when?
If I get one of those virtual taps someday, maybe so. I would like one, but I just, my Virtual Boy works fine. At least the last time I used it, it worked fine. So I don't want to do that. Here's Virtua Fighter was in the episode, wasn't it? I think so.
Virtua Fighter 4 would have been in it. Or, Virtua Fighter 2 and 4
That's
are
right.
in it.
It was 2 on the Saturn, right?
Yeah. And for the record, the best character in Virtua Fighter is the character with the best name is Jeffrey McWild. I mean, can you imagine having that last name, McWild?
McWild, that would be pretty great. Clockwork Knight in a stall. Lots of Saturn coverage in this.
Almost as good as the name Train Davis.
I really need to play more of that stall.
Truck Davis. I'm sorry, Truck Davis.
Panzer Dragoon.
Yep.
Panzer Dragoon begins with the most impressive opening sequences ever. The most impressive opening sequences.
The is in the first level. I could say I would understand if it was.
I think he's talking about the FMV,
but not the FMV. The FMV is like not great.
But this is 1995. Like.
Yeah, but the FMV was not.
Yeah,
I don't feel as particularly.
No, but in 1995, I guess it could have impressed. Daytona USA, man, lots of Saturn. Okay, here's PlayStation. I don't even know if I knew that there was a version of Bust a Move on Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah?
I don't think I knew.
I just got a copy of NHLPA Hockey for the Super Nintendo today. On the local like garage sale list, someone was selling like a big bag full of games for $50, and I went and bought it. And
oh no, this game stinks. It's
what?
It's this
the
Earthbound ad.
Oh, it's in good shape though. It has the whole thing.
Yeah.
Man, like what a misguided.
This game stinks.
What a misguided ad campaign. And I definitely was turned off by it. That combined with, when you compare that against Chrono Trigger, which is came out at the same time, I got to really hand it to people, and they knew exactly, like, they were smarter than I was at the time. It's still like to buy Earthbound.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I thought, like, this doesn't look very good. I'm not going to buy this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like, they're just like, oh, like, Who buys video games? Boys buy video games. What do boys like? Boys like gross stuff. You know?
Yeah, well, that is the entire Play It Loud era of Nintendo, and so much more so than Sega ever did, I think.
Oh, so this is just regular Killer Instinct that I guess we're talking about here.
Yeah,
Wow, so
who's your favorite
regular
Killer Instinct character?
Came out in '95, and then Gold came out in '96, at least on consoles.
Oh, I don't think that it came out in '96. It was
What the
after
N6
it was after I was working at
But I mean,
Electronics
the
Boutique.
N64 version didn't it come out in '96?
I bet it came out in '97 or early '98.
Well, I can't remember the Killer Instinct enemies' names. This
Yeah.
guy, I think the robot guy, he's on the the launch N64 box.
The robot guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's only the best character in the game. It's
Wild gun.
it's full gore. He
That's
looks
right.
exactly like a predator.
Yeah. Look at this Wild Guns ad.
Oh, that's good stuff. I did work at Electronics Boutique. I worked there from 1997 until probably 2001. I was there consistently from 97 to through the summer of '99. And then when I went away to school, I did not work there for 2 semesters, a year of school, but I did work there during the holidays when I was in between school. I see that Lunar too.
Yeah, three-page Lunar 2 ad.
Yeah.
What's
I in the darkest hour, hope springs eternal. I love that ad the first time I ever saw. I still think it's pretty great.
Another Production Inglorious 3B.
Another one.
Another one.
But yeah, I worked there for a long time. I really liked it. I see Rox Media saying SSX Tricky was the best snowboarding game. I went and bought SSX 3 for the Xbox today because I forgot that it was backwards compatible on the Series
really?
X. It's like in 4K and everything.
I bet it looks amazing on it.
And SSX 3 is amazing. It is one of my favorite racing or sports game of all time. Maybe my favorite one. I put so many hours when I first moved to New York, and I brought my PS2. That was basically the only game that I brought with me. And I played it.
Oh, look, Gunner's Heaven.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I'd obviously I'd have to read the article a little more closely to see whether they thought there was any chance of it coming out here or not.
Yeah, SSX 3 is so good. It is so good. It is doing the whole mountain with the what's the song that plays when you do the whole mountain race? It's like the something symphony. I have no idea.
This ad cracks me up. Wouldn't it be nice? Here's KO Flying Squadron, $29.99. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice? What else is there? KO.
Dungeon Master 2, Rebel Assault, Samurai Showdown, Fatal Fury Special, Heimdall,
Yeah.
Time Cop, Indiana Jones, Return of the Jedi. But I mean, it's kicking off with KO here. KO Flying Squadron. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah. Yeah, Mike M, because I remember Yellow Card being in SSX3 as the first time I ever heard them. And it was like, what's this? Is it like Way Away was the song? What else was the one that I liked in it? I'd have to look at there's 2 songs in it that I really, really liked. But yeah, I see that David Lichtman is saying Hybrid Finnish Symphony. That's the one that it's so cool the way that what they did with the they had like all the audio stems so that when you catch like a lot of air, like parts of the song, like certain instruments like drop out, and if you land the trick, it like all like kicks in at the same time, and it's just the coolest thing. I mean, it's such a typical thing now, I guess, but back then I thought it was just really put that extra like oomph into the like a good race.
Here's a Alone in the Dark 3DO version, which
is in the episode. Yeah,
it was in the episode. Yeah.
My friend Lou used to be so afraid of that zombie in that game. Like in that breaks through the window in the attic.
Oh, Win the Ultimate Gaming Rig. It's in like every magazine.
Yep. For a long time, it was.
Here's the issue that I got last time right here. So it wasn't the next month, but it was March 95. It was, I think the one that you're thinking of where you said, oh, maybe it's the next issue was Mario 64. But I'm not sure what month that was. Actually, that had to have been 96. So I don't think they were that adjacent in terms of these issues. In 1995, games will change forever.
Oh, Next Generation. I got an issue of Next Generation as one of my magazines.
Oh man, I mean, here's some playing it loud. I mean,
is it gross?
Next
Probably.
one, Call Them Cute gets a fireball in the butt.
Yep. I mean, that one's not that gross, but it's still, still got some underwear in it. There's $2 from Warren Hokie. Thank you. It's saying, looking for a hidden gem RPG on the Game Boy Color. Any suggestions?
Game Boy Color. There was. I haven't played it other than booting it up for a few minutes on EverDrive, but there is a game called Brian's Quest that is like a sequel or prequel or sidequel or something unrelated to Quest 64. He plays Brian, the main character of Quest 64, and it's like,
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's more of like, and it's just like a regular overhead, like turn-based 8-bit RPG. But I don't know much about it other than that. But
I mean, I would just go ahead and say it's not a hidden gem, but you should just play Dragon Quest 3.
Absolutely. And,
there's $5 from Jonathan Hinson saying, hey, Corey, what version or port of Lunar should I play? I will always say the Sega CD one, but if I like the Sega CD one because it was my first one, and I think the music is vastly superior to the remake. But I think that the remake is probably more approachable and probably easier to get to play now. And also,
can I sit there, Sandy?
It just has a much more expanded story in it. And honestly, it's worth playing them both because it's really interesting to see the changes that are made when they expanded the length.
I need to sit there, Sandy. Can I sit there, please? Please.
Sandy, move your butt. Move your butt.
I'm going to sit here, okay? I'm going to sit here.
This is how it goes every day. It's like you just talk to her real gently. I'm gonna sit here. Sandy, can you do me a favor and just let me sit here, please? She's like, nope. All day long, you're just saying.
I'm curious now that I've unplugged that other microphone. Is that buzz that people were talking about earlier? Is it gone?
That could be it. I don't really hear it. In terms of like the unworked versus the worked versus unworked, I think that it doesn't really matter for the Sega CD one. probably doesn't matter for the PS1 version either. But I think that it's very important for Lunar 2. In which case, you should just play the PlayStation 1 version of Lunar 2 because they're very, very similar. And I think that the PS1 version is probably just like a lot more fun.
I really like this opening sequence because I feel like it looks like what if the NES had like PC Engine style.
You're playing with scan lines on.
I did turn it on just to see what it looks like. I don't know. Are they holding up on the stream at all?
It doesn't look bad to me.
But I'll turn them off to actually play. But
yeah,
they look pretty neat. I mean, it's definitely going for like a Shadow Mask look. But they line up well and everything. I mean, as far as I can tell, it appears to be a square pixel game, which is, you know, the easiest way to ensure that it's going to look good. But yeah, I'll turn it off. It's also got a curve version.
Ah.
That's pretty.
There's $5 from EB Chill too. Thank you. Saying I got a notification that my 5X is shipped. Not to figure out where to set it up now. But now I got to practice my USAS. I'm not familiar with what USAS is. Saying great video, guys. Have a great week, and I hope you have a great week.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing to figure out, I guess, is you know, how to deal with that SCART port if you are using SCART. So you can like hop out of your vehicle like Blaster Master style, but I believe she can like, she's probably a little more capable than on foot Jason is in the side scrolling.
Yeah, well, this is pretty cool. This is a good mixture of that, and seeing like the mech. I remember there's this game called Metal Mech on the NES that I thought was kind of like this, but you had like in this walker thing.
Oh yeah.
But you get out like in Blaster Master, and I was so excited for it, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it does not.
It is horrible.
It does not play well.
Yeah. I remember renting it and just thinking it was really, really bad, but I think I did I recorded some footage of it for the
oh, look at that.
The NT Mini episode, and I just could not believe that it was as bad as it is. Oh, that's cool. So you can do like a down slash. This is pretty cool. This seems like it's like as Cloud FF 72,000 is saying, Metal Storm meets Rastan, and I'd say that's pretty. It seems pretty accurate. It's like Metal Storm meets Rastan meets Blaster Master.
So
I'm not sure what this was on originally, but it
I
seems
think
like
Switch.
it's pretty cool. Is it Switch exclusive?
I don't know. Oh, interesting. So your weapon breaks if you throw it.
Ah.
But you can throw it.
This is an interesting question. Is $4.99 from Daniel Salazar, saying if you could develop a new 2D Castlevania game to run on original hardware, which lesser-known system would you choose? Sega CD, 32X, 3DO, Jaguar, etc.
I mean,
You got like a hockey stick. I'm gonna say Sega CD.
Yeah,
Sega CD. That's a good choice.
I feel like that would be the most accessible one, thanks to like flash carts, you know?
Yeah. But also just, it would have been very, very similar to like Rondo Blood, I think. I mean, it'd be really cool to see. I still haven't played that Castlevania Resurrection demo that leaked. It was just, they didn't really leak. It just like was released. I should do that. That's cool. You got a little swinging. You can do a little.
Are you looking
too.
at the stream, or should I close to save bandwidth? Should I close the?
No, it's fine. I'm going back and forth.
Oh, okay.
I go back and forth. There's also $5 from Container7. Thank you. Saying ordered a 1440p monitor today with the MLiG Amazon affiliate link. Went with the Dell S2721D 27-inch. Also, thanks for the SSX3 recommendation. Heck yeah. I have to admit, hearing your enthusiasm for the 1440p almost had me getting one, but then I'm like, I'm just gonna hold out. I'm not gonna get one. I don't need another monitor. I don't need another monitor in this house. Actually, I took two of my like 27-inch 1080p monitors, and I had them just like hooked up to different things for no reason. And I decided I'm just gonna take them down. I don't need them, and I gave one to a friend.
I mean, be honest, I'm kind of thinking about like getting a 1440, like maybe at some point 2 1440p monitors for like my editing setup, because I realized like the horizontal resolution of 1440p is the same as the horizontal resolution on my ultra wide 1080p editing monitor,
Mm-hmm. There's also $5 from Gaming Blows saying, last magazine you guys did was the Game Players Mario 64 issue. I've been seeking that issue for years.
Really?
Got it on eBay, and I'm so happy. Thank you. Well, you don't need to thank us for anything. You're the one that got it.
But maybe he remembered which issue it was he was looking for.
Right. I hope that Gaming Blows enjoyed the prism in the episode.
Yeah.
Of the last unicorn or whatever.
I think was it Demo Kirby that wanted Gamera 2000.
Yeah, I wonder if Demo Kirby did Demo Kirby say anything in the Discord about it. I do gotta play that. It's very cool.
Yeah, that and the Ghost in the Shell game have been the what game people are asking for this episode.
Yeah, I knew that the Ghost in the Shell would be, and I find it most surprising that fans of Ghost in the Shell don't realize that there's a Ghost in the Shell game on the PS1. I think that was very surprising to me. I almost bought Ghost in the Shell standalone complex on the PS2 a couple of weeks ago. That's one that I think based on the footage I've seen looks really, really cool. And I think that it's something that I do want to buy. I mean, it's kind of expensive, but it's not that bad. It's not as expensive as the PS1 game. The PS1 game's pretty pricey now, I think.
I feel like I am supposed to have my mech right now, and I don't think I can get... I feel like I was supposed to get up here with my mech, and I didn't understand how, and now I can't get back to it.
Oh yeah, Bungie's Oni might be the best Ghost in the Shell game. I've always wanted to play it, and the character looks very, very similar. The major.
My cousin's husband had that game back in the day. I remember watching him play it a little bit. I remember he was saying like the layouts of the buildings were designed by actual architects for this game.
Really, that was what they said? Who said that?
I I guess I don't know if I mean that must. I mean, he must have read that from a magazine or something, you know. So it's probably true.
I'm sure you can tell.
Well, I mean, I remember looking at it and I'm like, I don't know. This looks like. I was like, this. I just remember thinking that looked like any other video game, like just, you know, completely pointless rooms with things in them that wouldn't actually be functional, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I misjudged it.
There's $5 from Robert Hernandez, who says, "Thank you both for the excellent RetroTink 5X video. If you were to buy a modern TV specifically for video games, which would you recommend?" And I see a lot of people are saying the LG OLED CX.
I mean, it sounds like people are just gushing over the CX. Like it. I mean the.
Well, there's the newer one's already out now. It's like the C1 or something like that. Or is it like the CX1 or something like that? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there is the new version is out.
Hmm?
Yeah, the C1 is the newest one. You just kill that guy with one hit?
No, like something else killed it.
Ah.
This thing killed it, I guess.
Time's 9 p.m.
It's 9 p.m. Let me turn my lights back up here.
But
well, it's not that dark.
but I mean, I feel like everyone's,
dark,
you know, obviously spoken well of the previous LG OLEDs up to now, but I feel like the CX is like on a whole new level of like people just really loving it.
Yeah.
And obviously now with like the current gen systems, you know, 4K 120, you know, that's something that you and I cannot do. We could do 4K or 1080p 120, but you know, so far I haven't really found many situations where it particularly seemed worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself upgrading in maybe like 2 or 3 years, maybe, and taking the other one, putting it upstairs or something in the living room. My old one.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't feel terribly compelled to upgrade. I mean, I'm still like in awe of how good, you know, modern games can look on this TV. So, you know, I mean, I still don't get the thing where people say OLED is dark. Like, by the nits, I guess technically it is. But, it still seems like, you know, like the HDR highlights and stuff seem really bright. Like, I can't, like on standard definition, standard dynamic range stuff, I can't have it on maximum brightness because I think it's too bright. So like, hearing that the newer ones are brighter, like that doesn't do anything for me because this is plenty bright.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years anyways. I don't feel compelled to upgrade either. So F Lover is asking if you played RE Village yet, and you started RE Village, and so have I guess. But you're farther than me now, because I had to take a trip this past week, and I only got back yesterday.
Yeah, I started playing it last night, so I'm not as far in it as I'd like to be, but I have begun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get back to it tomorrow.
I mean, I just fought like what was the first major boss,
Oh, okay.
which took a while to get to. Oh, check this out.
What?
There's a stage select.
Oh, so it's like Mega Man-esque. That's why someone was saying that Mega Man fans will like it.
I mean, I looked at this up on how long to beat, and I have not finished and deny. I mean, it looked like it was like maybe 7 hours or something. So,
Yeah.
let's see. I think this was the one it started on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 to start with.
Did anybody get a laugh out of seeing my old video VHS stuff in the episode?
You know, there was some confusing. I have to be honest. I don't quite know either. Like, well, for one, Matt McCheskey is in it.
Yeah.
He's the brown-haired kid.
That quick little cut of Matt in there. I just thought that'd be fun to put him in there.
But then like, you were the one that fell on the chair, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then like there was it you or your brother that was doing like the high
The karate stuff. The what?
like the Mortal Kombat kicking in the kitchen.
Oh, I was doing the Mortal Kombat, but the other guy with the hat. That's my friend Dave.
Oh, okay. I thought one of those shots might have been your brother and not you. It's hard to tell when you're so young and have hair.
I was the one wearing the shirt, or the button down shirt.
Oh, okay.
And the other guy had a hat on.
Oh, okay. So the random weapons I'm picking up, there's like a little treasure chest icon when it's like, I guess you can only hold 4 at a time, and then, I guess they go into this like inventory.
There's a lot of other VHS stuff that I gave you though. It was very curated because, you know, I just thought it was important only. I didn't want to put anybody in there that, you know, might not want to be in it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel the same way about like the old movies I made with my friends, you know, like I'd love to share some of that stuff, but it's like, I don't know if they'd really want that to be seen or not.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheesy.
But the chair part is funny. You know, it's because it's so stupid. The whole idea that video is that it's just like a sequence of like annoying or bad things happening to me. And I get woken up early by like a really loud alarm, and then it's just like bad stuff happens to me over and over again. That is the whole video, but that whole part was just from like a montage.
How was that shot? Was that like actually a bad chair?
Oh yeah, the chair is broken. It was broken. It was intentional that happened. There's $2 from Ben Brody saying, should I have salmon or chicken wings for dinner? I'm gonna say chicken wings. I hate salmon. I hate how it smells.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate how it tastes.
I don't particularly
the salmon. I hate the color of it. It's orange.
I mean, I don't particularly have much knowledge of individual fish types, but fish is okay. I like it when I'm in the mood for it, but vastly prefer chicken.
So some people have been asking about the cicadas, and they are starting to appear. We had my daughter's birthday party today, and it was like a water fight thing outside. Like, you know, we got like a slip and slide and all this other stuff that goes down like the back of our lawn is kind of like a hill, so the kids were just going down that. Anyways, another parent that was there was saying, "Oh my gosh, the cicadas are starting to appear. Here's all these. Here's some pictures I'm seeing." Let's see here. $5 from Robert Carlson saying, there is $5 from my grandfather from beyond the grave saying, what kind of Carlson hates salmon? This one, unfortunately. Gaming Below says, was Danny's Pizza open off of Montrose when I lived in Williamsburg? So I'm pretty sure that the one that was like very close to me was like Danny's 2. There was, because when I first moved to New York, I lived on Scholes Street, which is very close to the Danny's 2 pizzeria. That's what they do there. Is they don't just like call it the same thing. They open a second location. They always call it number 2 or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Danny's 2. But he's just saying bro. So hopefully I'm not wrong, or if I misremember, as a long time. Oh yeah, you live 20 feet away from Danny's 2. Okay, so I lived on Skulls. I found a thing in my suitcase when I was packing for this past week, this trip that I took, and I went to Miami, Florida for a couple days. I've never been to Miami, Florida. Anyways, I found my old address. It was 138 Scholes Street, or Scholes, Scholes. That's where I lived when I first moved to New York.
I don't understand. Can someone who's played this game before? It says like each weapon has like a spell. I'm not sure how to use it though. I was trying to check if the controls could be viewed in game, but I couldn't see them.
I guess I lived on Gaming Blow's block.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the apartment building is 138. And then after that, I lived on, when I moved in with my then girlfriend and now wife, we lived way north, like past Metropolitan on Jackson Street. I don't know if it's still there, but there is, what was it called? Kind of like it has brunch. It's kind of like the Irish pub place. And they have brunch. I can't remember, but it's on Metropolitan and Graham. And I can't think of what it's called. It's owned by like it's it's very Irish pub-esque place, but it didn't used to be. Well, I'm thinking about that. I will go ahead and say EB Chill had another $5 donation. Thank you. Saying before I get back to work,
I see.
Just want to say I joined the DF Retro Patron. It's been really great despite Audie's hate for MGS4. I recommend it. Oh, I didn't realize. I know that he does not like MGS4, but I didn't realize it was like a thing that's continuing. Do I have a toothache? No, I just am touching my face a lot. Oh, hula hands? No. What was it called? It's like it's not O something. It's Harefield Road. That was it. Harefield Road. Before it was Harefield Road, it was called the Blue Lady Lounge, and that's where I met my wife. The Blarney Stone. Yeah, Harefield Road is definitely still there. I mean, I like to say that. I mean, that's where I met my wife. I always joke about it because I say, believe it or not, like, I met my wife at 3 a.m. at a bar, which is kind of a funny thing, right?
Doesn't just happen in a movie, I guess, huh?
It doesn't just happen in a movie. It happened for real. And I think about that a bit because, if I didn't meet her, I probably wouldn't have like followed specific paths in my life. And this is like, we probably wouldn't even have the channel if that had happened.
Probably not. I mean, that's the kind of big thing that makes all the difference. Oh no.
There's a lot of stuff in Brooklyn is no longer there, I'm sure, at this point. Let's see here. Okay, so I saw that. I got the EB Chill super chat. MGS4, that's a game I do want to replay at some point.
I mean, I've played it twice, but I'd like to do it again. So what I didn't understand before was you break your weapon to use its spell. So like, I guess if you're low on, in fact, there as far as I've seen, there don't seem to be like just health drops. So, if you have a weapon that can heal and you are full on weapons, it might not be a bad idea, I guess, to just heal.
But yeah, so I went to Miami. I was only there for like 3 days. I went there on Thursday. I came back yesterday. So I was only there for one full day. But it was, I like it more than other places I've been in Florida, I have to say. And I went down there thinking it's only May. I mean, I probably don't need to bring any shorts because I feel like it's not going to be that bad. Oh. And that was a mistake.
You're
immediately
too used
went
to
and
living
bought.
up north.
Yeah.
I mean,
I immediately went and had to buy a pair of shorts.
I mean, it was cold here in North Carolina, like recently, but only for a couple of days. When
I got off the plane, it was 90 degrees. So
when you're playing as the girl, I really like this like very full armed run she does. Like she has very straight posture while she's running, but she's also moving her arms like way more than you would if you're like running while also standing up so straight.
I'm getting some messages from my friend Chris who's saying, "How do you guys decide what games to play each week?" I'm assuming that he's watching right now, and I said it's basically just what we feel like playing.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's saying you should get some Legacy of the Wizard up in here.
Oh,
but you just played through Legacy of the
my
Wizard,
gosh.
didn't you?
Does he have any idea, or is it a total coincidence that he's asking about that? Because I just spent like, I don't know, 4 or 5 backloggery streams playing through Legacy of the Wizard. That game is brutal. It is so obtuse, so confusing. It's charming though. I can't hate it, but it's kind of bad. Like, it's such a weird thing because I feel like that's a game a lot of people don't know about, but it's also extremely common and cheap. So,
it's a Falcom game, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Oh man, it's rough though. Like, oh no.
The Miami airport is the worst. I was surprised at how much of the Miami airport is outside. At least when you go to your plane, You got to go outside.
Oh, really? I've only ever like done that like once in my life. It wasn't that long ago either. Where like, you know, you are where like you get off the plane outside and like walk down a ramp, like, you know,
Yeah.
like in the movies, the old movies.
Right.
But yeah, I've only ever done that once before.
Yeah, Gaming Blow says that he had to look up how to beat Legacy of the Wizard, and it's impossible. But the music is straight up at 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Among the
Well,
best
it's
ever on the
Yuzo
system.
Koshiro.
Yeah. Oh, that's called groundboarding, I guess. That's right. Vanessa works for airlines.
Ah. Yeah, Legacy of the Wizard, man, it is so confusing, and like the bosses, except for the final boss, are just like kind of inexplicable. You just kind of have to like come up with a good way to cheese them is basically the only way to win. Oh no. Ooh, I've got limited lives. This is...
It's got to have unlimited continues.
Oh, I'm sure, but...
So, before I took this trip, because I'll be traveling a bit more for work, like over the next, like while I work there, I signed up and got the TSA pre-check, which just makes it so much easier. You basically get to skip the entire line, and you don't have to take off like your shoes or do anything when you go through the metal
I mean,
detector.
I was thinking about doing that too, like, you know, when we were doing a lot of MLiG traveling, but you know, we have...
Yeah, I mean, for $85, and it lasts, that $85 makes it last for, it's like three years, I think. So it is totally worth it. And I went and signed up for it and did it, and I got confirmation back within 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Like, they did my background check and everything within 2 days. It is, I think it's if you're going to be flying a bit, it's kind of a game changer.
Well, I have no idea how much I might be flying anytime soon. I'm not expecting much, if any, so not worth it
I
yet.
mean,
but...
I'm not sure how much exactly I will be. But I mean, I'll be doing trips like this every once in a while. Like, I'm not sure how long they'll go for, how long I'll be gone for. But yeah, the TSA pre-check definitely felt like it was worth it.
It was Steve that told us about that, wasn't it?
It may have been. It may have been.
I didn't know about... Well, I mean, I guess I'd seen it at the airport and been confused, and he said, oh yeah, I've done that. Oh!
See,
I just stepped on those spikes without... That's exactly where I died before, but it was so long ago that I actually got to that point. I forgot.
I see this Spool String is saying, hi, love the channel from the UK, just playing Contra 3.
Oh.
Not Probotector. Would it be in the UK?
I think all
Did the
across
UK
Europe
have
it's Probotector.
Probotector. And also, we got a new member. It's Nor, Nohr, Nor.
That's the name of one of the countries that you can choose to join in Fire Emblem Fates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You finished that, right? I assume.
Yep. Yeah, I finished.
I need
Fire
to get
Emblem
back in the
Echoes.
games. I've I guess on this trip I played Link's Awakening on the flight a bunch,
Oh,
and
yeah?
I was just having the hardest time getting into it. I don't
mean,
know why.
It's not. I was disappointed by it. I mean, it's fine, I guess, but just the original version is where it's at to me.
Chris just sent me a message saying, "I assume you're drinking a giant glass of gin in that tumbler that you have." This whole thing is filled to the brim with gin. And I'm going. This is. I plan on dying during the stream. Or at least being really, really funny.
Why do I keep doing that? I just keep jumping like those spikes aren't there. What is wrong with me?
Maybe I just feel like a big thing is I just feel that the Pegasus shoes just feels like it just feels wrong. The movement on when you're running with the Pegasus shoes just feels weirdly wrong.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It just feels kind of boring. It just feels kind of boring to me. I don't know why. I will try to finish it, but I'm gonna.
I mean, have you played the original version?
Yeah, but I only played it on the Virtual Console, on the 3DS, and finished it. I think I may have gotten all the heart pieces too.
I feel like. I mean, Link's Awakening, I think, is a very personal game for a lot of people, and I feel like it's a game that lends itself to sort of envisioning like how you see the world, and it's a game that feels very. Oh shoot! Did I not get it? Oh, I did get it. Okay, I didn't mean to throw that other weapon though. But it's a game that I feel you can kind of like envision like what. I don't know. It's just a game that feels very imaginative somehow, and then seeing that in such higher resolution and detail, where obviously someone had to come up with their own artistic direction at a higher resolution, and it's like, I don't know, it just kind of feels like it doesn't quite jive with what you had in your head. I don't know. I'm not explaining it very well, but
I can understand that. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I like seeing, high-res versions of a lot of other games, but for some reason, like, I kept an open... I was unsure about the art style, and I tried to, keep an open mind about it. But, when it finally came down to it, I don't know. And, I feel like that, the whole, like, stuttering thing that it does just does a lot of harm just to the overall experience. Like, I'm normally not too much of a frame rate snob, but like the way it works in that game it is very weird and distracting because it happens every screen, like pretty consistently,
Yeah, I just assumed it was when it was doing a quick save or something like that. But it's every time you walk out of a building, or even just like when it goes to the next screen. I don't think it's
doing a quick save. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's just I remember, Digital Foundry, had some ideas about what was happening, but I don't think they totally knew for sure what was really causing that.
I do want to just really quickly say hello to Hero Gear, who is in the chat, and it's always a pleasant surprise when some people from the next level show up in the chats. It's always a pleasant, a pleasant surprise.
You know, there's that.
It happens more than I would expect. I think I see more people from the next level than you see from the backloggery in there.
Yeah, that's true. Although,
it's been a slow thing.
I often feel like backloggery people don't show up to these streams, but then on Monday I'll realize that like someone's like, oh, Try was playing this yesterday, and it's like, oh, I guess you watched and I just didn't know, or maybe you're in the
Just
chat
lurking.
and I never noticed.
Yeah. Hero went to E3 the same year that I went to E3, and I remember us kind of discovering Hoshigami on the PS1, just like in a weird off to the side room.
That's a game
Playing
that I can't claim to really know anything about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he was. I was in college, but I'm pretty sure he was in high school at the time. Because that was 2001. So I was almost done with college at that time.
It's so wild to me to think about, like,
Almost being done with college in 2001.
Well, but like, you were hanging out with like internet friends in 2001.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I ever met someone in person from the internet was when Drum and Lynn came over to play New Super Mario Brothers Wii in late 2009.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was doing it for a long time before then, I guess. Yeah, as a strategy RPG, as an Atlas game, I'm pretty sure it's expensive now, but it had a really weird mechanic where every time you move, the enemy moved at the same time or something like that. But that was supposed to be on the cover of Game Go magazine #2.
I mean, isn't that what a roguelike is, basically?
Yeah, but it's very Final Fantasy Tactics-esque. Oh yeah, the Cadence of Hyrule I need to work on. I almost bought the I didn't realize that Crypta the Necro Dancer got a physical release recently too.
I have no interest in that. I mean, I'm only in the Cadence of Hyrule because I feel obligated, because Zelda. But yeah, I don't particularly have much interest in the core gameplay concepts. I was going to stream that one time, and then you kind of said you didn't think it would really work too well.
Well, it would be fun to do it. I think that there's like another idea that seemed more fun. I feel bad that Henry Clark is looking for Game Go issue #1, and years ago I had like 4 or 5 copies of it, and I think I may have just gotten rid of a bunch of them and just kept the one. There's $5 from For Love of the Game saying $5, but you have to put it towards the revival of EA. With that, who's the DJ? The DJ Atomica he was in Burnout Paradise also. I wonder what other games he was in. There's also a $5 Canadian from the importer saying, "Hi guys, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Anyone noticed that whenever Try gets excited about something, like in the Retro Tank 5X video, his accent comes out?" I think that you know it too, and you really like to play it up.
I mean, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. No!
Mr. Self-Improvement thinks that you would be a big fan of Hoshigami. It has several developers from Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics behind it. And it also had a enhanced port on the DS later. So if you have a hard time with this level, you can always play a different one, right?
Yeah, I could, but since I had gotten so far into it, I thought it was worth giving at least one more try. I mean, I did make progress that time, but you know, I'm not too confident on my swinging skills just yet, I guess. I just went here because it was the one that it defaulted to, so I thought, you know, maybe there's some possibility it could be the easiest.
I had no... Now that you say that, it makes sense, but I had no idea. Vanessa is saying that it's David Hayter that does the voice for EA Sports. It's in the game.
Really?
And now that you say that, doesn't that sound like you make that connection?
I mean, I can't say it's something that I have spent a great deal of time listening to.
But I'm sure you've heard... I had no idea that was the case, but you can definitely tell. So I wonder if he gets royalties every time or something like that, because that's got to be something. It's got to be a nice little chunk of money every time that they use it, right? That is the fun fact of the week. That is crazy. Oh, Mr. Self-Improvement is wants me to ask you what you thought about the My Life in Gaming ABGN parody song.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw that in the comments, right?
Yeah. I thought it worked. He said he spent like 30 minutes coming up with that, which I mean, I couldn't have come up with that in 30 minutes.
Good Vibe Collecting is saying it is not David Hayter. He confirmed it himself.
Oh, so just one of those rumor things. You know, I always heard people say, I always,
Andrew Anthony, I guess.
I always heard people say that Master Chief was David Hayter, and he's not.
Oh no,
But
I have
people,
no
like
idea.
back in the day, I mean, did you ever hear people say that? Like back in the day, people used to say, like David Hayter is Master Chief.
I don't recall hearing that. That would be fun.
You know, I have no idea who voices Ethan in Resident Evil, but I keep thinking he has vague Nolan North vibes. I know it's not Nolan North, but like every once in a while, the way he says something makes me think of Nolan North.
When I was talking to you earlier today, I realized that just how much of a blackout I guess I went on Resident Evil 8. And the first 30 minutes of the game, I had no idea that was supposed to happen.
I mean, I did not know.
I didn't even know anything about that.
I did not know much, but like, you know, the thing that you were saying, like you would have got spoiled on it if you hadn't
played
if you hadn't already
before.
started it. Like that was in the very first footage that was shown at like that Sony.
Which I guess I
event.
never watched. I guess the only thing I've only watched, like, not even a full trailer at any point. Maybe just like a clip here and there, and then seen like screenshots of the tall lady.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I had no idea that the stuff that happens in the first like 10 minutes of the game was going to happen. So maybe I am just, that's the point that I've reached where I just have no idea what is happening in any game ever. It is, yeah. But I went into a GameStop and there was a thing on the TV and it basically says what happens in the first 10 minutes of the game. And I just thought, I'm glad I didn't come in here before the game came out, because that would have been spoiled for me. So I mean, I'm kind of proud of that, I suppose. Tim Rogers did a video for Kotaku a couple of years ago, saying how to avoid.
Oh yeah, and like he
how to
was like
avoid
talking
every
about
spoiler
like
ever.
he was talking about like how, you know, people have
He
like
hasn't been
different
spoiling
definitions of
anything on-
spoilers, and like how, you know, all these different things are spoilers that like people maybe don't think are spoilers. I'm kind of with him. Like I don't remember if he said this exactly, but like hearing someone's opinion on a game, I feel like is a spoiler. Like I do not want what someone else thought about a game coloring. Like what if they say like, oh, like, you know, I really don't like how this and this and that happens. And then like, maybe if I was just playing by myself, I wouldn't have even thought about that. But then I'm thinking like, I'm overthinking it because someone else said this was annoying. And then I'm like, should I be annoyed by this? Or like it predisposes me to being annoyed
Yeah.
by it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much stuff that can be spoiled, a spoiler that people don't realize are spoilers. Michael's Workshop says you can avoid being the spoiler. You can avoid the spoilers by staying at the front of the car. You know how the spoiler goes on the back of the car.
Whoa.
Oh, is this Lilith?
Yeah.
I wonder if she's inspired by Morgan's twin sister or whatever, or little sister. I don't know if they're twins or what.
I mean, she definitely seems to be sort of taking that form of Lilith.
Of a succubus. It just seems like a weird character as a boss in a game about mechs.
The story is that like supernatural things are like attacking the earth. Like that is the story.
Will Parker's asking, so I was wanting to record your guys' how to beat series to VHS. I was wondering if you guys would be okay with it, and if you have a clean version, so I would have to double distort. And I'm not sure if you know or not, but years ago, we released 50 copies of it on VHS and sold them at a convention and put them in a full packaging. Actually, I have it right here. I can show you if you've never seen it.
Whew, that was close.
It's right here. Let's see, it's an actual VHS with it on here, and it has commercials and everything by like other YouTubers. I have all these VHS tapes, and I was thinking I could do them, like another run of them. So, I mean, I should probably get around to doing that. But if you really want to do it on your own, I could probably post up a version of this that has all the commercials and everything, and it's already been formatted to 4:3 that you could do on your own if you wanted to. Like, send a DM to Twitter, and I'll see if I can unearth the master file for this. I mean, I have 700 blank VHS tapes in the closet that aren't recording themselves. So I should do that. Maybe I could probably.
Can you watch
What's
the
up?
chat to see if anyone answers my question that I'm about to ask? Is like, I have Lilith's weapon here. Is there like a reason to not spend it on upgrades? Because like, you know, I think of like Dark Souls and stuff where like when you get boss souls, like later, if you save them, you might be able to, you know, craft a really cool weapon or something from them.
I'll keep an eye on it. There was $5 from Blade Blur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, excellent RetroTink 5X video. I'm enjoying my unit. Despite some issues with 720p Xbox games, it's been a dream. Now I can't wait for what's next. Definitely report that stuff to Mike Chi. He's pretty... I'm not sure if any firmware updates have released since 1.0 like publicly, but I know that when we would have certain issues, he would be able to fix them and give us like it's like 1.0 something.
Yeah,
and I know that there's like probably a 1.1 coming that's going to have all that stuff.
Right. I mean, he was giving us some very incremental updates that were, you know, I guess very much beta, but he's been, you know, these past 2 weeks, he's been doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we started, you know, we were on 1.0, but then by the time we finished it, we had like 1.08 or something like that. It was like the last one that we had. I'm sure that 1.1 will be out pretty soon, though.
Oh, I've got Lilith's weapon on me.
There's also $5 from RC. Thank you. Saying awesome Tink 5X video. You guys continue to outdo yourself. Do you use RGB full or limited on your LG OLEDs?
I usually use limited when it's an option. Or, I mean, sometimes I don't know. It's hard to explain how I choose, I guess.
I do limited for everything, but the cool thing about the LG is that it has different settings per resolution on each input. So since the OSSC is full only, whenever the OLED detects a, you know, like a 1280 by 960, which is 4X mode, it will set the OLED to full automatically.
Right.
But I use limited for everything else.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that sort of, I mean, you know, John Linneman recommends going for limited because it's the least likely to give you like any configuration issues. I mean, you're not going to get like a perceptible, like, you're not going to notice like less color banding or something like you would think you would, but you're not. Yeah. Like,
it's only a problem when it gets mismatched.
When it's mismatched, you know, don't choose full just because OLED you think, well, it's got to be better, right? There's more steps, right? But like in practice, like I've never seen an example where you actually see like, oh, on limited range, there's more color banding because there's less steps between, you know, color steps. Like it doesn't really work that way. And, you know, HDR, you know, which is, you know, like, you know, more color range, more color depth. Like you use limited range black levels on your TV for HDR. I mean, HDR stuff is in YUV format. It's not 444 color bandwidth either because HDR would be too much color bandwidth. To be honest, I'm not positive if that's still the case with like current gen consoles on like HDMI 2.1 or not. But it's I mean, you know, those limitations, you know, someone was saying, you know, I guess there was like there's been like some controversy, so to speak, over how the RetroTink has to do some, it's 444 on the input, 444 on the output, but it has to do some 422 stuff internally just as part of its process, which I'm sure is, you know, it's a cost saving measure. You know, it keeps the cost of the unit down to not have a 100% end-to-end 444 pipeline. And, you know, sort of I explained to someone, I said, you know, the reason stuff like 422 and whatnot is used is because it is hard to perceive in, you know, most situations. Like it's, you know, it is meant to be a cost savings of power and money, you know, like, and I use YUV like on my PlayStation 5 because, and my PlayStation 4 because, the full 444 RGB at 4K, at least on my PS4 Pro, sometimes doesn't go through. Like I saw every once in a while I'll get like a couple of black frames or something. Never happened on my Xbox, but on my PS4 Pro that happens. On PS5 you have the automatic like color depth setting, and it so I actually don't know if it's doing 444 or 422 or 420, and I don't really care because with video game graphics you just are not going to see it, you know, especially if it's HDR anyway, which most stuff you're going to play on PS5 is. So like it doesn't even matter.
And at some point, as you say in the video, you just gotta sit back on your couch and play the dang game.
Yeah. But you know, I do want to do like a full video on retro aspect ratios after Analog Frontiers is done. And I think it's going to be interesting because, you know, there are, of course, a lot of people that just don't, you know, they can't believe that I don't use optimized sampling on the OSSC. And it's just like, you know, you saw that Suikoden 2 clip that, you know, had the flickering pixels. I was trying to use that as in a comparison. And when I ended up recorded, there were flickering dots that I did not see before I recorded it. And it's like, well, you know, that's the proof. This is why I don't do it, because you can look at it, you can see it. And it's like, you know, you said before, sometimes on your TV, it looks fine. And then your capture card, like the correct settings are different for your capture card. Like it just, you run such a high risk of having a bad recording. And like, I guess for some people who are maybe, you know, not dealing with as large of a quantity of video as we deal with, like it might not be that big of a deal, but like we would never get anything done if we were trying to dial that in for everything all the time. Like it just doesn't work that well for us. And
well, that's exactly. It's impossible to. It's hard enough to get it done, like to work on one display every time.
Yeah.
But then if you're trying to get it to work on multiple displays, or like a display and a capture card, it can just vary. And that's why I stopped even trying, because I would get it finally to be correct on my TV, but then like the capture card would just be all scrambled or not show anything.
Yeah, but you know, even as easy as it is to do on the retro take, I'm not that interested in really doing it for any reason other than, you know, a comparison or, you know, some other technical reason. You know, honestly, I prefer really staying true to that 4:3, you know. Oh man, that's a hard jump. And there's no
I do want to say
checkpoint
there was
before.
a donation that I missed earlier. It was a Streamlabs donation, just from Atomic Garden. It was $10 from Atomic Garden. Thank you, saying y'all rock. that was the entire thing. I think I might be able to let that pop up on chat again, or on the stream. I'll see if that works. Yeah, there it is right there.
How about that?
I can make it pop up. Thank you. There's also There's $4.99 from Scott Davis.
Ah,
Thank you. Saying, hey dudes, I scored a M Classic cable for my birthday to try with the Wii U and Xbox 360. Y'all have any impressions, trials, and tribulations to share? Huzzah!
My experience with the M cable, I've never used M Classic, but as far as I've seen, the results are very similar.
The McCable?
I have the M cable gaming edition. I got really annoyed with it because it didn't work when using it with like the output from my receiver. So it was just very difficult to capture from for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect of my frustration. But I mean, in 720p games, I mean, you can see a difference. You know, I remember one of the first games I tried it with was Fallout New Vegas, and in the room where you start the game, there's a clock on the wall, and like a circular object does, you know, it does look much cleaner and much more round. You know, I personally, like, in my mind, I'm just thinking like, oh, this is tampering with, you know, the intended output too much for my tastes. It's not my thing, but I acknowledge that it does something there, you know, fairly successfully that a lot of people do like. You know, certainly I think the 720p generation can stand to gain some benefit from it.
The McClassic.
The McClassic.
The McClassic McCable. The cable. You can do it.
There we go.
Hanson can change that song of bop to a cable. Classic. Or that maybe the new Crash Test Dummies song called cable, cable, cable.
Those guys just fell off. Whew, that was a long run to a first checkpoint. Oh, did anyone ever answer whether it's...
I didn't see anything.
Because I'm really concerned that I'm carrying around this, like, boss weapon. It's like, I don't want to waste it. I mean, it appears to have a spell called Wings, which sounds useful, but it's probably like a literal one-time use thing.
Scoot Diggity is saying, I feel like there's been a confusion between the intended look of retro games and the developers just dealing with the limitations of the hardware and displays they had to work with at the time.
And, you know, I think another side of it too, you know, I mean, you know, games are art, yes, but at the same time, you know, people were just trying to make a living and making something cool while they were at it. Like,
yeah,
you know, I think sometimes we like overestimate like how much intent there was behind the art, you know?
Yeah, they just need to get this stuff out.
Right. And you know, when the moon in Castlevania Bloodlines is, round on a with a square pixel aspect ratio and oval on a CRT, I mean, that's just people doing their job and sometimes screwing up. And, you know, the game director probably saw that, but just thought, we got to ship it, you know?
Yep. You know what? They were probably thinking, you know, done is better than perfect.
Exactly. So, I mean, and, you know, something that I want to emphasize.
And they didn't think that anybody would care. They probably weren't thinking that anybody would care about it 20 years later. Exactly.
And, you know, I think, I think in this eventual aspect ratio video I want to do, like, you know, there can be many interpretations. You can fiddle with like, oh, on a game by game basis, you know, I think it should be this way or that way. But, you know, something that I always think back, I have no idea if this is a common saying or nothing, but something I always think back on was, you know, one of my professors from my video classes in college said, you gotta know the rules to break the rules.
Right.
And I feel like it's okay to play Genesis games in square pixels. It's okay to play Super Nintendo games in square pixels or whatever. But I think it would be good for all of us to have a little more understanding, including myself. I want to learn more before I do this episode. To have an understanding of, you know, just let's have a fuller understanding of how these games are displayed before, you know, we make our choice on, you know, how we're going to stretch them or not stretch them, whether we're going to use optimized sampling or not optimized sampling. You know, let's have some understanding to the decisions we make on that stuff.
Yeah. Really quick, Hattori Hanzo II said to use spells just before a weapon breaks, and it's fine to use boss weapons.
Okay. Well, I assume I won't have a chance to get that boss weapon back, though.
I bet it comes back after each level or something like that. So how do you think you say that guy's name?
Well, it goes away when I pause the game.
Those Micflantucci Tuli.
I had attack up. I broke a weapon so I could get attack up.
It seems like the bosses are not that difficult.
I've had good luck on the bosses so far, yeah. But the levels are, well, that level like had a really long run to the first checkpoint, and the first level didn't have. The second level was harder on the second half of the checkpoint. Or the first level I did anyway.
Mr. Self-Improvement says, you know, try some modern HDTVs and monitors scale certain consoles in 8x7 instead of 4x3 in full screen mode. It's very annoying. And Lucas Pruzovich is saying, can we please stop with the 8x7 thing? Pixels aren't square. And you elaborated on it quite a bit in the episode.
Yeah, well, because I thought that was important too. Because really, this was the first time we had ever talked about optimized sampling in a video. Like, I don't think we knew anything about that when we first reviewed the RetroTink. I mean, really, the first time we reviewed the RetroTink, it was so early. I don't think it could do anything more than 720p, and I don't even remember if we could capture 720p. Like, you know, it's fine to think back on, but
I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Okay,
while you go.
When we did the PS2 RGB episode, we couldn't even capture 480p 2x. We didn't have any capture cards that could do it. So if you look at any of the OSSC 480p stuff in the PS2 RGB200 episode, it shot off the screen because that was the best I could do. That was the only way I could do it. But yeah, like we had never talked about optimized sampling before, so I kind of thought I needed to explain, like, you know, the square. I need to reestablish the square pixel thing or non-square pixel thing, so that I could talk about the pros and cons of using it. Although there is no square pixel mode for SNES, which would actually be useful, as we said, for Super Game Boy. But Genesis does appear to be a square pixel optimized mode, which is what people would probably want. And, you know, I actually did use, for a while, I believe, a Firebrand X profile on the FrameMeister that put Genesis at square pixels, and I think PS1. Like, I because I do understand that argument. I understand it, but more recently, especially after I got more deeply into the OSSC and didn't use the FrameMeister as much anymore, I just realized, well, all I have to do to use this thing is flip the switch. If it's an RGB input, it's defaulting to RGB. I flip the switch and I turn on the console, and I'm using it. And it's 4:3, And just like on a CRT displays it the same way every time, no matter whether it's a 320 pixel wide game or a 256 or a 380 whatever. I mean, it displays it the same way. So, it's so much easier to use it. And if you think about it in the terms of, well, this is how it is on a CRT, then it's just like, well, the one size fits all just makes more sense to me because it's easier. For one, it's a lot easier, and you just don't have to worry about any errors or issues, And some people were like, there was one comment, I can't remember if I think it was on Twitter actually. It's like, oh, generic 4.3 is so blurry, I can't stand it. I'm thinking, really? Is it? Like, if that's you, that's okay. That's okay if you feel that way, but I love pixels and scaling and things looking crisp and sharp as much as the next guy, but apparently not as much as the next guy because, I guess I don't have like the craziest, highest standards. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still using analog consoles. Wait, did she say I do have enough to? I don't think I have enough to do another, do I? Oh, I do. I guess it's worth it. Why not? Yeah, well, and see, Mr. Self-Improvement, you can't say I play retro games anything other than 4.3 or similar. And see, that's the thing. Everyone knows, like, don't stretch retro games. Everyone knows that. But then, what do we do within this roughly 4.3 space? Like, what do we do? I say just be consistent. Use a generic 4.3 sampling. Don't worry about optimizing each individual thing because that's not true to how a CRT did it. And of course, these, crisp looking pixels is also not true to how a CRT did it. But, we all have our standards of, well, I like it this way, but like a CRT, but it's okay to not be like a CRT in this way. I mean, whatever, You can bend the rules if you want, but it's good for us to have an understanding, I would say, of, more of how these things were displayed back in the day. And, and you saw in that Kirby example, I mean, the difference was very, very slight, but
Gotta say I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Back.
Well, like you can see in that Kirby example where I showed how optimized 1440p and optimized 1200p, are very, very, very slightly different widths, and that's because the amount that it has to be multiplied by to bring it up to an integer scale is different.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can. I just got real quiet suddenly.
Well, I don't know. I was talking like a few seconds ago.
Yeah. I did like a big kind of purge of like a lot of cables and stuff that I had, like all these like old HDMI and like old devices and stuff like that there's no reason for me to have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to give a bunch of them away.
I should probably do that sometime.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff that is just not worth taking up.
But I feel like every once in a while, though, you need one of those
Velcro ties
generic,
that I have.
you know, those generic analog to digital converters from Amazon, that kind of thing.
But I mean, yeah, but I don't need like 3 or 4 of them.
I think
So
I only have one.
I can't keep one, and then I just get rid of the other ones. But yeah, it just it felt really nice to get rid of some of this stuff. I just had like a lot of old HDMI cables, and I had all these cables that I had pulled out and tried other cables with. Like I couldn't get, I don't know. Like it was just all this stuff. I just had way too many HDMI cables, and I had this big. When I first moved in here, I sorted all my cables, and slowly over time, I just like ended up with like kind of another rat nest of cables, and so I just went through those and got rid of the ones that I don't need or wouldn't use or shouldn't use anymore. KH is asking, you guys think that the OSSC Pro will scale to 1440p?
I think so. I mean, that might be known information. I know that the Pixel FX Morph is slated to go to 4K, but 4K 30. So I don't really know what the video
I don't know how
game
much do
use
you know
cases
about
of
this thing.
that.
I don't know how have you found out about this stuff? Where has this been talked about?
The Pixel FX Morph.
Yeah.
It was tweeted.
Okay.
They tweeted it, and it's just a white web page that just has like a list of
features,
but like
interesting.
nothing shown, no blueprints or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product that they wanted to say they are making. Which, I mean, you know, it sounds like it's going to be really interesting because it's going to have like, you know, that free form polyphase scaling that you know, the N64 digital is going to have, and it has an HDMI input. So like,
right.
I feel like, if you know, you could take like PS2 and Xbox 360 games at least to 1440p that way.
Yeah.
And if it has the capability to do 4K output at 30 frames per second, I don't know if it like, oh no. I don't know if it might have the capability to, you know, like take a 60 hertz input from the PS3 and output it at 4K 30. If it could do that, then you could play 30 frames per second PS3 games and, you know, upscaled perfectly to 4K. But I don't know if it can do that. We just don't know very much.
Isn't it just so crazy that all this stuff is coming out?
It is super crazy. I mean, when we started doing these videos, I mean, you know,
We'd never imagined that there would be this much stuff coming out.
No.
For sure. It was never even. We thought that the Framemeister was something that that's the only thing we'd ever need.
You know,
or ever want.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love that little sound, but I actually dug up the original.
And he has to, like, for the record, was able to dig up the entire Framemeister episode. I'm like, we should remaster it or something.
You're saying entire, like I don't know. I only looked at one thing. I was looking for your original VO VO file because I wanted to I wanted to pull your audio clip without the music that's behind it in the final episode.
Yeah, I think that's I at least like I said, at least make a ProRes file of it. I mean, you should see how many. If that opens up, you should see how many other ones you can open up. Because I know that I don't have mine, but if you have some of these, like in the whole entire episode opened up, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And just make ProReses of them just to do it. There was a $2 donation from RC. Thank you, saying you just did the same with my cables. Feels so good. It's you can get so many cables after a while, and there is a lot of stuff. Like I don't see any real reason to hang on to cables that I'm not currently using that are not capable of like 18 gigabits per second.
Yeah. But
like,
I
have these ones that are just like really, really old that are not currently like in my setup at all. There's just no reason to hang on to a lot of those. For me. You know what I mean?
No, I can't. I can't use the checkpoint without my robot. There's
Like
no
your
way
bot.
I'm going to be able to beat this boss as just the Android girl.
No, we don't edit on Mac OS, but Adobe Premiere supports exporting to ProRes on PC. It was added like 2 versions ago. And we'd like to create a ProRes master file of episodes ever since, I guess. Self-improvement thing. I love the early MLiG videos. In some of the very first few videos, Coury's audio makes him sound like he's whispering. And looks like he's hiding from his wife. Boy, have times changed. It was really just because my daughter was sleeping in the next room, and in a tiny little New York apartment.
You know what's funny is there was a comment that said like, I liked when these guys talked about games and not all this techno babble. And like, I feel like there's not that many people who like, I mean, I feel like most of our audience probably came from people who like subscribe to us for the techno babble.
Yeah.
But I understand too, like we always really appreciate when people say like, oh, like I really like these episodes you do where you guys just talk about some games. And like I always appreciate that because it's like, oh,
yeah. And I mean, I think I was thinking about doing like a little standalone quick review of Asha in Monster World.
Oh yeah, why not?
I think I might do that. If I just play it and release it, see if I can make the video.
I bet it's going to be controversial to like it. I mean, we don't know if we are going to like it. Maybe we'll hate it, but like, I feel like that's going to be the kind of game that's going to be controversial to like.
Yes. And I feel like I'm maybe not going to like it very much.
I mean,
but I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's a tough situation because it is the competition of like other games that have released like remakes and stuff like that, or like, you know, spiritual successors of that, or like now spiritual games that started as spiritual successors but became official games in the series,
Yeah.
is you know, it just have looked so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough situation. So I think that I'm going to. I was just thinking it'd be really fun to do like a video on that. So I think I'm gonna. That's the idea, and I shouldn't have to worry about it, you know, being current or anything. You know, I've been very inspired by. I love the fact that Joe did a video review on Ys 9, and the game came out, you know, like 3 months ago. I shouldn't be afraid of doing something like that. For one reason, I guess, even with like Ghouls and Ghosts, I was going to do a video, and I had a whole bunch of a video written, but then when I saw the Digital Foundry video, it felt like that there wasn't anything else that I could really add to it. And like some of the information was the same, but just like written in my voice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We will see. There was $5 more from RC. Thank you. Saying, did Mike Chi get back to you about a custom Super Game Boy scaling option? Not yet.
I mean, I never asked them about that directly. I just threw that in there in the video, just saying, hey, that'd be nice. But I haven't given him like my personal feature wish list
right.
or anything like that.
I mean, we had mentioned certain things like while we were just asking questions. Where I said, you know, like, oh, is there any chance for maybe like a more easy menu navigation where you don't have to go through each option one by one?
See, that's the thing, though. I feel like that it is really easy, but because of that, like, it's so there's so little going on in that menu overall when you think about it. And I feel like you're like, well, just see, this is, you know, Drum is a programmer, and you know, when people want features on the backloggery, you know, they're always like, well, can't you just make it an option? Why not just make it an option?
Well, the thing is when you have several sizing input, like it's tough when you have a screen that doesn't work with certain resolutions,
right?
Because you can't hit it a whole bunch of times and see where you are at all time. So you just got to like wait for like between hitting the button, you know, you got to wait a few seconds like every time you hit it. But if you could just like go to like, you know, the resolution. If you go to that and you just hit up or down, then choose what you need and then hit enter to select it.
But you know, overall, I think it's extremely easy to use. You know, there's not that many options to flip through. Like, that's one of the things I like about, because it's like, you know, you don't have crazy control over a lot of things, but it's like, but it gives you, it doesn't give you very many ways to make something bad. Whereas something that gives you a lot of control gives you lots of ways to make something good or lots of ways to make something bad. Here, there's not very many ways to make something bad unless you use like the wrong sampling mode. But if you just use generic 4.3, then literally the only thing you ever have to do is change the input or change the buffer mode, maybe if you're like, you know, want to use frame lock most of the time, but then you want to use, you know, triple buffer for Chrono Cross or something. And for the record, Chrono Cross will work in frame lock mode, but it's just that if you're using HDMI audio, you'll probably get an audio hiccup. So you probably want to play the game with frame lock unless you're passing it.
My TV, like, you see the no signal on the screen for, you know, like a second.
Oh, really? For Chrono Cross?
Oh yeah, like almost all those. Even it happens with the Die Hard Arcade also.
But only in frame
lock mode.
Right.
It'll Yeah,
Or
it's
but in
fine in
triple
triple
buffer,
buffer,
it's fine.
but yes, exactly. But
Yeah.
in, you know, like I know that you said yours had no problem with
Well,
frame lock mode, but
the monitor, I did
at
not.
least the C8 does.
I
has
tested
problems
much
with.
less on my OLED because I knew you were. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean frame lock works and it's fast, but it is not as fast as you do see like the no signal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like last week's stream when I was trying like Resident Evil 2 N64 on frame lock mode, like I was able to move between scenes with no issue, but then there was like 1 or 2 times when I did a scene transition where my capture card said no signal.
mm-hmm.
So, but in frame lock mode, I don't think I've ever seen a drop in frame lock mode. This is a cool looking level.
Train levels are always fun.
I mean, I feel like this game is kind of like this game almost feels like a Shovel Knight successor in a way. Like, where it's kind of that, like, big 8-bit plus style. Like, I mean, obviously there have been a lot of 8-bit style games over the years, but, like, I feel like few have felt like they're, you know, quite as big of a deal as Shovel Knight. And I mean, I don't think this game is as well known as Shovel Knight, obviously, but like it feels of that caliber, you know?
Yeah. Mr. Self Improvement was saying that he liked our holiday memory videos. So they felt welcoming.
They are very
that was
old.
the first one that like really used kind of more significant amount of B-roll.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like you early on you were saying that like my version of that episode kind of like set the style for what we do.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. With the amount of B-roll and stuff.
Not that there was a lot of B-roll, but
yeah, in frame lock mode, you're definitely going to get drops on some or most screens probably, but it's so quick that it's okay. And if it becomes really distracting, then the triple buffer.
and you know, remember most games aren't going to have issues like that anyway. So, you know, a vast majority of games you can just play in frame lock mode with no issue. Even games with you know, the title screens, you know, with 4AI title screens, like it's just going to be on the title screen, so don't worry about it.
There was $8 from Don Tackett. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, hello, gents. How serious of a problem is... Oh, no, that's another one. Say, hey, I really want a GBA with a modded upgrade screen and speaker. Are there sites that sell them complete? I have no modding skills. LOL.
I mean, you know, there's a newer GBA one that is a no-cut mod. I have not really looked into it. I know Macho Nacho Productions did a video. If you want to look into like what model to buy and stuff, like Macho Nacho Productions like really keeps on top of that stuff and has more, frankly, more relevant info than you know, what we would have in the video we did from last year. I'm gonna break this weapon and do the durability up. Why not? But I mean, as someone with, virtually no modding experience, certainly nothing that is anything beyond, installing an ODE that doesn't require any modding or any soldering. I completely understand and sympathize with that. And I found myself very frustrated doing the Game Boy screens. What is that? What is that? Can she get it?
Is it?
What is it? I can't seem to do anything with it.
There's also
Oops. Oh.
$5 Canadian from Voice Inject. Thank you. Saying, hello, gents. How serious of a problem is disc rot to our precious disc-based game collections? And that is something that I think you'll get a lot of varied answers about.
Yeah,
A lot of
I mean,
people
a lot
will
of
say
people
that it's like
don't
not
even
even
believe
it's not
it.
a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at present, it is a very, very small issue. But, just like Artemio says in Analog Frontiers, I think it was part 2, everything will eventually decay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, some things might be, 2 centuries from now, we don't have to worry about it, but some things might be 10 years from now, 30 years from now. I mean, people were talking about, apparently there's like a bad manufacturing run of Pokemon Ruby, Omega Ruby. And Voltar actually had one, and he, I believe, fixed it. I didn't look into the details of it, though. But
He was able to, redo the soldering on it.
I guess it is not necessarily a bad ROM, then.
Right.
Which is probably what people were freaking out about.
There was $10 from Cloud FF 72,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saying, I just want to say thanks for making quality content and inspired me to make my own contributions to the community. Pictures of carts and boards of all 700 Genesis games I own.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm price charting. That is...
It's awesome.
That's awesome. That's a crazy endeavor.
I mean, it's super valuable, too, because, I mean, there have been times where I have bought a game that I know is at risk of being a repro, and I try to look for photos online of the real PCB, so I can ensure that,
right.
I do have a real one.
Yeah, are you done with it yet? Or is it an ongoing project? That's a lot of photos.
I mean, that's what the part Analog Frontiers Part 5 is in some part going to be about, the contributions anyone could potentially make,
Yeah. There's also $2 more from RC, saying, "Is this a must-own game like Shovel Knight?"
I mean, I'm pretty impressed. It's really good. I mean, it definitely feels of that tier to me.
Well, that's has me pretty hyped to play it. Look at this guy, the snowman. Olaf Bodegeg. Boedeg. There's also $5 from Azura saying, so wait, what did you guys export to before we got ProRes on PC? Direct to MP4? Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. I mean, we probably should have done it to like Avid DNX. But at the time, I guess we just didn't. Just very I guess high bit rate MP4s.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think MP4 it looks that bad, really. I mean, obviously it's not really archival quality, but you know.
But ProRes is the way to go, I think.
Yeah. I mean, now that we can
Yeah.
do it, absolutely.
We do it at 422 HQ, even though it's like probably not super necessary, but you never know.
You know, for the comparisons in the RetroTink episode, I exported it 4444. I couldn't find just a regular. I assumed the 4444 means there's an alpha channel, and I couldn't find just a regular 444 option for exporting ProRes to. But I felt like it was important for this episode in particular to keep 444 for all of the comparisons when I was exporting them, because they're so heavy. I can't render them on the final render. You know, I need to render them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that was the first time I used those. I mean, they take up a good amount of space, that's for sure.
Excuse me. There's $5 from Lee Mustang. Thank you. Saying, I've got two games that are probably at the beginning stages of experiencing disc rot. Both are GameCube games, MGS Twin Snakes and Skies of Arcadia.
You know, I have seen situations
big games,
of
they have it.
I've seen situations of GameCube games that were just like maybe stored in some extraordinarily bad conditions or something. There's a video that is actually online. That's a somewhat local game store to me, Joe's Video Games in Rock Hill, South Carolina. There's a video, if you Google for it, where they go through this binder that some guy picked up at a flea market that's full of GameCube games. You hold them all up to the light and they are trashed.
So I wonder if it's a thing with GameCube games especially.
But I think mostly if they're just kept in bad conditions is the impression I'm getting. But
yeah.
I mean, you know, when it comes to some of those like semi-proprietary formats, you know, I don't know if, you know, maybe there are issues with not having the most mature assembly line production. I mean, I don't know.
I think the number one thing that I miss about the Wii U is the discs with the rounded edge.
Oh yeah, well, Xbox discs are kind of smooth, aren't they? But not quite that smooth.
Yeah,
but they feel different from like PlayStation discs still. Yeah, the discs are so weirdly smooth on Wii U.
There's $10 from Ricky Pond.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saying a little late to the conversation, but one thing I want to mention that I like about your guys' videos is the cinematography. Makes it fun to watch some of your older videos, like the RetroTink 2X.
I mean,
you know, it's amazing the amount of B-roll that we shoot nowadays, because we probably overdo it.
Yeah.
But it's all because of the Rhino arc slider that we basically changed the way that our shows looked.
Right.
Pretty,
I mean, when did we start using the slider?
I think the first episode to use it was the SSDS3 episode.
Really?
So 2018, I think it was.
Feels about right, I guess.
Yeah. That changed everything. And I mean, there's plenty of people out there that will say that we overuse it for sure.
But the reality is, it kind of makes things easier in some ways.
It can, but I feel like it adds a sort of, although it might be slow sometimes, but it adds a sort of forward movement to the feel of an episode. Like it's just You know, you feel almost like you're being taken, like you're being pulled through the episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Well,
a sort of like kinetic energy to
and-
it.
You know, I feel like you can get away with
Showing stuff like that's longer.
you can
like
get
a
away with
longer
holding
shot.
the shot for longer, and it also makes it easier to get like a cool looking shot on your first try. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, in a lot of ways, I think it does make shooting B-roll easier. But like, you know, we used to use like the little turntable, which maybe I
Yes.
should get rid of that because I mean,
I'm gonna keep mine just in case, but there's really no reason
yeah,
to do it. I'll tell you one thing. You know what I did on my trip this weekend is I flew a drone for the first time,
oh yeah,
and it was kind of awesome.
man, I
And
remember
like now I'm kind of looking. It's like, you know, a drone. If like the drone I flew is like $600.
Mhm.
It's,
Oh yeah, I think it's shockingly easy to do. I remember.
Well, the way it's set up is it's like a dual analog thing, and it feels like you're just like playing an FPS.
Yeah. Well, and like the drones these days are like smart enough to like, I mean, if you really wanted to wreck it, you could, but you know, they're smart enough in general to like not let you totally wreck it. I mean, we
Yeah.
had a drone at my old job, and I remember apparently my boss had a very bad experience flying at one time. And every time I was telling people like, "Oh, it's so easy to do," she was always like, "No, it's not easy." And I'm like, "It's easy." But when we first got it, the guy who actually was the keeper of the drone was in like the sports broadcasting department, and he was like, "This is really easy, but don't tell students it's really easy because I don't
Yeah,
want
they don't
them
wanna-
to like want to use it."
Yeah. It was just really fun, and I'm going to admit that I do feel like at some point I will want to buy one. But you have to take a written test and everything. You got to get a license for it, which it's fine. From what I understand, it is just a written test, like it's a multiple choice test that you have to take. It's not like a driver's test or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to say, "Do you know to not fly it within 10 miles of an airport or whatever the heck it is?" You know.
Yeah. Zane's dad says, "Get a drone with a camera, then downscale to 240p."
Fly,
Yeah, like
fly the
Deus Ex
drone in
Game Gear
front of
video.
your CRT.
There was 5 reals from Zenith VM. Thank you. Saying, "Hey, adore your videos. Personally, I consider them quite well-made documentaries. As a result, thank you both for creating such content." Well, thank you for watching. That's high praise that it's.
I don't normally think of like our regular videos as documentaries, but some people do seem to think of them almost in those terms. Oh shoot! I don't know how I did that on accident. I thought I was changing.
Is your weapon? Is it a popsicle? It's like it looked like a popsicle.
Well, that weapon had a full heal, and I accidentally threw it instead of using the full heal. Oh
Yeah.
no! And I'm out of weapons, and the boss checkpoint is here. This is probably not going to go well.
Yeah. Replicant 813 is saying the DJI drones are crazy good. That's what I flew was like the DJI Air Mini 2. And that's the one, it's like $599 or something like that. So, I mean, I definitely have it in my brain now. And I used, on this shoot, I had to use the DJI Ronin S And it was my first time doing something, you know,
Oh,
with a lot of
no.
moving, using a gimbal, Steadicam type thing, and it was not easy. I'm gonna have to like practice a lot more.
Yeah, gimbal
with
is
it.
tough.
It is.
I mean, I have one. I have not used it much recently.
There is a smaller version of the gimbal that I could see myself, which isn't. It's just the Ronin SC is a smaller version of the one that I have been using for work, and that one it's like half the price. It's like $300. So I could see myself getting a smaller one to use like with my own camera and doing some cool stuff with it. It's just, I don't know. I'm getting all this like equipment brain now. What else could I do with this stuff? There's $5 from Ajura. Once again, thank you. Saying disc rot depends on a lot on how good the pressing was. Universal HD DVDs are all going bad right now. We got bad batches of Blu-rays at work too. Well, hopefully that sweet Project ACO will last for a long time. Hopefully that's gonna be out in the next couple of year or two.
So how's this wings work? Let's see. Oh. Oh, I can just double jump forever.
This game has no relationship to the Panzer Dragoon.
I do have a funny story about that.
Well,
though.
actually, you know, it's like this one, and it's all part of the same. I guess it is. It's part of the Panzer series. This Panzer Dragoon and Panzer General are all in the same series.
Well, the funny thing is, what is this? This looks suspicious. So Limited Run had the PS4 version of Panzer Dragoon up at the same time that they had this. And you know, I'm all into combining my Limited Run shipping, you know, save money,
Yeah.
right? And I ordered Panzer Dragoon twice instead of ordering Panzer Paladin and Panzer Dragoon. And like I was like super lucky that I even noticed the error, like, you know, when this Panzer Paladin was only going to be up for another week or two. And so I ended up ordering this alongside I ended up ordering this alongside, let's see here. Let's put this weapon in here, and then I'll do defense up for the boss. Let's see, I got this, Scott Pilgrim, and what was the other game I sent you a picture of yesterday?
Fight and Rage.
Fight and Rage, yeah, which we streamed. But
Yeah, which I was surprised. I thought you were not going to get it, but
I wasn't going to get it, but it was still up when I had to realize, oops, I still need to order Panzer Paladin, actually.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, fine, I'll do it. But speaking of games I got recently that are, you know, more smaller runs, if anyone wanted Agalos, Coury, could you make an affiliate link for people if they wanted to
yeah.
get? So I assume it's
if
still
it's-
there. Like, remember Agalos that Coury streamed? It was that Monster Boy-like game that actually that same developer just released Tanuki Justice, which was in the video. And a lot of people have been asking, what's this game? It was in
Maybe
the
I'll stream
downscaling
that
part.
like next week or soon.
Huh?
Maybe I'll stream that soon.
But anyway, Agelos was like really expensive for a while. Like over $100, wasn't it? Or
It was up there.
It was
but now
pretty
you can get it from Amazon. I guess it's
like
I mean,
$35.
it's $35. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, so it like you notified me that it was coming back in stock, and
You're like, oh, I'll pre-order. You never know what's going to happen.
yeah, because I was like, I don't know if this is actually going to come in stock, but I ordered it, came, and then when it came, it was still in stock. I noticed, so drop that link in there if anyone wanted to get Agelos. I mean, you really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of good, but it was a lot of good. I said that.
I said that.
It's very perfect.
It's very perfect. That was my favorite outtake on that latest reel. It is very perfect.
But yeah, I mean, I want to play the Tanuki Justice. Someone tweeted to Wonder Boy Bobby on Twitter saying like, "Hey, your Tanuki Justice was in this video."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they comment?
They did not, as far as I know.
I mean, they probably never seen it downscaled.
Yeah. Well, I didn't downscale. Oh,
You did
Tanuki
downscale.
Justice. I did. Yeah, I
What
downscaled.
were we talking
thinking
about?
Agelos. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Sorry, for some reason I was thinking, oh, I didn't downscale Agelos.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does not have a integer horizontal scale. Neither game does.
Right.
But I really like the style of his games. I mean,
They feel like Master System.
they feel like Master System games, like very distinctly Master System games. And then I looked up his website. Well, what it was I saw Tanuki Justice, and I was like, oh, this seems to look a lot like Agelos. I bet it's from the same developer, and I looked it up, and it was. And then their website like has like the Master System like white grid design and stuff, and so it's like very obvious that their stuff is extremely Master System inspired. Baba Yaga.
Baba. Oh, Baba.
So last
Yeah, I
time this
mean,
lady
the
said-
physical version is high. I think that when I got it, I think I bought it when it was. I think I paid like $16.99 for it though, but that was like the last print run of it. I'm pretty sure it was like $16. I mean, that's the reason I ordered it in the first place, because I was like, oh, it looks like a Wonder Boy game. Oh, so actually, Mr. Self-Improvement is saying, actually the Switch and PC versions of Agelos came out first, but then when he released the PS4 and Xbox versions later, I've been told they added interpolation.
Really? But I don't think. But Tanuki. Well, which version of Tanuki Justice do you have?
I have the Switch version.
Well, see, I don't have it yet, but I ordered the PS4 version, so I wonder what that one's going to look like. But I don't know if there's a physical PS4 Agelos, or at least not one that's affordable.
There is. It's $27.99 on Amazon. It looks like.
Oh well, now
No,
I
it
wish I
was
got that.
temporarily out of stock. It just says temporarily. I'm gonna add that to my wish list, and I would like hold it on.
Yeah, because I did end up getting ordering the PS4 Tanuki Justice, because it was like, I don't know, it was like $10 cheaper or something.
There's this one game that I added to my wish list that I thought looked pretty good, and it looks like it comes out in a couple of weeks or something like that. Looks kind of like a Klonoa type game.
Oh yeah.
Called Kaze or Kaze and the Wild Masks.
Oh, well, I mean, Kaze, I mean, that's
Yeah.
obviously Kaze no Klonoa, you know?
Yeah. It's like a. I mean, let me send you this photo, and I bet you'll think like, oh my gosh, that looks like. I do. I think I'm gonna probably pre-order it just because I'm gonna post it into the.
Post it in the chat. Yeah, I want to see.
Oh. Hang on. Can I? Yeah. We'll just.
Well, I mean, I could see it in Discord too if you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. And look at the screenshot.
Oh yeah, except it's not 2.5D, unfortunately.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Kaze. Kaze.
I don't totally love the art style, but I see what they're going for there.
This is it right here.
So it's kind of crazy to me that apparently I'm like fully upgraded and that doctor can't do anything more for me. I wonder if
Oh. Mr. Self-Improvement says, I have Kaze, or Kaze, or Kaze, however you want to say it. It's more like a cross between Sonic the Hedgehog and Yooka-Laylee Impossible Lair.
Huh. Interesting. But it being called, I mean, I know that Kaze is just wind in Japanese, but like that feels like it feels like they're going for something there.
Yeah. But yeah, I added that one. I saw that the Cotton Reboot is up for pre-order. Comes out at the end of next month. I didn't realize that there was a native PS5 version of Control.
Well, yeah.
I didn't real. I mean,
Oh,
I knew that you could get the.
Does it come in a PS5 box?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that I did not know, but yeah, I mean, they announced that.
I know that it has like a free upgrade for it, but this is just like that upgraded version on a disc.
On disc.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were going to do that. I see. I bought the Control Ultimate Edition because at first, you know, I thought like, oh, I'll play this, you know, at launch, you know, and it turned out that that version wasn't even available until this year. I thought for some reason I thought it was going to be available when the new systems launched, but it wasn't. So
oh, we got Dustin Kramer's in the chat.
Welcome.
I mean, it's not really like a robot themed classic Mania. It's more of a mix between, what did you say? Metal Storm meets Rastan meets Blaster Master. Without the overhead portions from Blaster Master.
I mean, I don't know. It's really closer to a Mega Man like, to be honest. It's like Mega Man with you know, with sword controls, including down thrust and up thrust. So that's how I would. It's really very Mega Man. But you're an android lady piloting a giant robot fighting mythological creatures.
And one of your weapons is a big hockey stick.
Well, you can get all kinds of weapons.
Yeah.
And they have different magic spells that you can release. You can sacrifice the weapon, like even when it's about to break, to get an effect.
Yeah.
Like a large heal that I'm probably going to need soon.
Kind of like it's like tax cut with mechs.
Tax cut?
Tax cut.
Huh? Tax cut?
You know that year that game that comes out every year, and that you know tax cut 99 is like the last one I played, but every year they have a new version of tax cut.
I have zero clue what you're talking about.
You know, when you do your taxes, you there's this program a lot of people use called tax cut.
Okay.
When I worked at EB, we used to like say that certain things were like just to see if we could get people to agree with us, like they knew what we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
We would say, "Oh, you know, it's kind of like tax cut, but with dragons."
Oh, I remember you telling that joke now.
Yeah, you know, tax cut is, you know, it's a big game. It comes out every year. You know, they gotta somehow they keep that release schedule. I don't know how they keep it up. But you know, this is kind of like tax cut, but with mechs.
You know, as a person who is not a programmer, like it's hard for me to imagine programming something that isn't a video game and being happy with it. You know? Like just programming things that are not video games sounds very boring.
It's a lot of text and symbols. It's like WinRAR, but you pay for it. WinRAR. I've always said like WinRare, but I'm assuming that it's actually RAR. I don't know if that's true though.
I've always said WinRAR.
Yeah, I've always said rare, but I assume that it's actually probably RAR. I don't know. That's one of those things. Oh, it is. So it is RAR. We're in RAR. WinRAR. I guess that makes doesn't have the same ring to it as zip. WinZip. All right, Dustin. Good luck tomorrow. Let me know how it goes.
Oh, is Dustin still shooting?
Yes. He's there for 11 days, I think, total.
Dang.
He got the same day as I did, but he's there until... He's there like 9 more days or something. Or maybe he's there like 9 days total. Nice tall glass of 7-zip. 7-zip it. Look at that guy. It's weird because a lot of the enemy designs in this just feel weird that you're fighting them with a mech.
But that's kind of what I love about it. Like it's supposed to be kind of an unusual juxtaposition.
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but that's what's cool.
Well, I
about
mean,
it.
the opening cutscene of the game was like all these mystical weapons like landed on the planet, and they're like portals for these like mythological creatures and demons to invade Earth through.
Demons.
I mean, in some ways, it's like the story of Mario RPG, basically.
It's like Mario RPG, but with mechs
It's like Mario RPG, but with mechs. Yep.
and swords
Yep.
and hockey sticks.
Yep.
Tax Cut and Knuckles, now starring Dante from Devil May Cry. But it's the DMC version of Dante. Wasn't it like Dante? People were calling him Dante, or just saying Dante but spelling it Donte.
You know, I was kind of feeling lately like I might, like I kind of want to get the new Devil May Cry. I was playing some Devil May Cry 3 for oh shoot, I meant to use that.
I thought you had 5. I somehow have them all.
No,
I've beaten the first 3. I haven't beaten.
I've beaten the first 3 as well, but that's all I've really played. But I was playing some DMC3. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the series really, but I was really enjoying the little bit of 3 that I was playing the other day for the episode. Oh shoot! Dang it! I keep accidentally switching weapons before breaking them. I don't really know what the blessing does. Oh, it's health recovery. That's pretty nice.
That's what you needed, right?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. She went down fast when she went into that crazy form. I don't know why that happened.
Hex Cut 11S Echoes of an Elusive Age Mech Edition.
Oh, I had a little trouble getting acclimated on the first level, but then I've done pretty good moving through these levels since then. I'm still baffled that this lady is just, like, already at this point in the game, she's like, there's nothing further I can do for you. I keep checking just because it's like, really?
Tax Cut is not an actual game. It's a program. I don't even know if it's still around.
I mean, isn't there like? I mean,
it's just for doing your taxes every year.
I can understand where the confusion comes from, because isn't there like a like modern indie game called like Accounting something or other? That's like an actual game. I don't know anything about it, but I assume it is a joke of some description.
I like that it says 2 arms every time when you start a level. What if we're all living in the Tax Cut game? I mean, it's certainly possible. TurboTax X Puzzles and Dragons. There is, you can put Tax Cut in any game title and it will never not be funny. Yeah, I guess wasn't Saturday tax day, or is tomorrow tax day? It got pushed by a month. I think it might be tomorrow. So how's my mic sounding? Nobody's been complaining about me being too quiet. I realized last week listening to my audio that my audio was a bit too loud last week, but I think that I've maybe dialed it in exactly where I want it to be now.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to you at first, you know, on not the best speakers or headphones, so at first
I think
was,
that I was using it, or the settings that I had before was making it sound a little bit too hollow. So hopefully bringing it down a little bit makes it sound better. I mean, everyone's saying it sounds pretty good. Hopefully, if this is sounding good, I'll never have to really change anything. Oh, yes, that's right. Aragorn 7884 is saying, thanks for the great Night Trap documentary. And I have to ship out a copy of Night Trap tomorrow.
oh, I don't
sold
get the
one. I gotta send it
notifications
to
for
Germany.
those anymore.
What's that?
I don't get the notifications for that anymore for some reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you feel like you want to send this one out, I can send you the email.
I mean,
I
I'm not
will-
busting to do it.
Yeah, it's going to, this one's going to Germany.
That's pretty cool.
I think we only have, I have no idea how many you have left. But I maybe, yeah, I have definitely have less than 20 now.
I feel like might still have a whole box of them, but I'm not positive. This guy is basically, oh, I have to fight him this time. See, I had to fight this guy in the first level, and like most levels, he's like shown up and given me an item. So this guy is like basically Proto Man.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna be selling any shirts anytime soon? I've definitely had a desire to have new shirts, but it's not something that I have invested a lot of time into. There will definitely be Blu-rays of Analog Frontiers, and we still have to get our M2 documentary packaged, which is something that was very close to happening for a while, but it just got put on the back burner. I mean, we have the discs themselves, but just no packaging, because we got a bunch of extra discs from the limited run print of them.
Like 300,
when they were
I think.
Yeah, we have like 300 of them, but it's just the disc. But there's been some talks about like an actual like Analog Frontiers release, which we're pretty excited about. It'll at least be 2 discs, maybe even
there's
more.
no way it could be less than 2 discs.
Right, but we have a lot of extra material that we could maybe even do a disc of
Just that, possibly.
of just like extra stuff. Yeah, but not only that, I guess when I was mowing the lawn last week, I was thinking about the Blu-ray release of Analog Frontiers, and about how I thought it would be really fun, maybe, to like we have our episode audio commentary on there, but I wonder if we could get anybody else that is like not in it who's not in it, but could just do like a commentary on it, like a commentary audio track.
Maybe so.
It just had me wondering who would be interesting to have doing a commentary on it. We did not fix our Amazon Prime issue. That's the way it is. There's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, it's that way for everyone. Like they just took down non-fiction content.
Yeah, they say unsolicited non-fiction content. I mean, I think that just finding somebody to do commentary that is not in it, it would have to be somebody who is knowledgeable on the stuff and can just talk about it for a while. But I don't know. I thought about it a lot. It'd be really fun just to have like a different audio commentary on there from somebody who's just, it just feels like talking about it. Yeah, like John and Audie, that'd be a really fun commentary. I mean, that's actually a great suggestion since they aren't in it, but I bet you they would do.
That was too easy.
They're getting really strong. That's the thing. Is he dead already? Maybe you just found the right weapon for him. Or is that it?
I didn't think that weapons don't really seem to have different attack values. They just different range, and then like certain weapons are stronger. Well, I mean, maybe certain enemies have certain weapon type weaknesses. I don't know, but I mean, there's like blocks that can only be destroyed with certain weapon types, but I don't know.
Yeah. You want to do one more? Or
one more? Yeah, I can do one more.
Or you feel like this is a good stopping place? How many do you have left? There's a lot of levels in this.
3. It looks like there's 3 left, and then I bet you've got your Wily Castle. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I could get that much further, but so maybe that's actually that probably is actually a good stopping point.
Yeah. We've been going till like after midnight these last couple of weeks. I'm kind of wouldn't mind getting to sleep a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I got the best sleep last night that I've gotten since before we started doing that Retrode video. Ooh, I slept good. Yeah, this is a good game. I'm impressed.
Yeah, we got a $5 donation from Craig Wan saying, "What's good? It's been too long, my dudes. Any chance to be covering the Fenrir ODE for the Sega Saturn? I'm about to pre-order it this week." Probably not. But just because, just like doing another ODE for the Saturn after doing the.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, your ODE situation is pretty settled, so you just don't have a personal reason to buy another.
Yeah. I'm sure Bob will do a video on it, but I think that Bob's already done a video on it. It's just, with the new, like, compatibility seems to be pretty good at this point. I don't know. I just think that probably not. I'd have to get a whole new one and get another system to put it in. There's 5 reals from Zenith VM saying, "Hey, any of you know if the Framemeister ships to Brazil?"
I mean, it would be extraordinarily expensive to get a Framemeister anywhere at this point, just because it's out of print. I mean, we just did the episode on the RetroTink 5X, which, I mean, if you're willing to pay the price, or actually slightly less than the Framemeister used to cost back when we got ours, I mean, the RetroTink 5X has basically all the perks that it had, along with many of the perks of the OSSC. It's definitely, I would say, the best all-arounder right now because of how it does both 240p and 480i well. So, when that comes back in stock, I would look for that if Mike is able to ship those to Brazil. So, that's what I would do. Framemeister is still a good device for people who already have them, but I would not seek one out today because it has its downsides, including, some video noise, that's just inherent to how it works. So I would not seek out a Framemeister today, but there are much more easily obtained alternatives. You know, I would definitely look at that RetroTink 5X video, because if you're looking for the FrameMeister for things like it's got composite, it's got S-video, it has motion adaptive deinterlacing, you know, those are all the things that the RetroTink 5X is now doing. So that's what I would look to as a full-on FrameMeister, you know, alternative now. But if you only need 240p stuff and you only need RGB and component and VGA, you know, the OSSC, you know, does that, all that at a lower cost, but the RetroTink 5X also has composite S-video and motion adaptive deinterlacing that the OSSC does not. So, but that's what I would look into over the FrameMeister at this point. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, so many of our old videos are focused entirely on the FrameMeister because that's all we knew. You know, that was what we knew at the time, and they were available. You could still get them for $300-ish plus, but you just can't anymore because it's out of production. It's been out of production. So don't seek one out just on the name brand, or just because they were talked up on the internet, you know, 4 years ago. But
I did want to mention that there was a $5 donation about 27 minutes ago from Mega X6 that didn't have a comment at all on
oh,
it.
but thank you.
I miss. I'll have that.
You know, I almost, you know, when I pulled, I need to record some random game on the FrameMeister for the RetroTink 5X episode, and I pulled Mega Man X5 off my shelf. And after I was already recording, I thought, you know, I should have done Mega Man X6 just for Mega X6. But I did X5. Maybe I'll do X6 next time.
There's 2 more reals from Zenith VM saying, thanks a lot for the advice and explanation.
Well, you're welcome. And check the RetroTink 5X episode if you haven't already. It's been good to see how much people have enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, for sure. And it has been the one that it's, you know, has gone, like, it's done much better than any other video in the last 10. Oh, actually now it's fallen behind Mario 64.
It's been like, you know, on YouTube, you can, in your YouTube studio, you can check your like 10 most recent videos and see how they ranked for the amount of time that it was out relative to the other videos. So, you know, this has been out for like, what, like 32 hours or something probably.
The first one day and 12 hours.
And it's been like back and forth with the Mario 64 video. Like it started off ahead of the Mario 64 video and then it fell behind. And then today it came ahead again. Now you're saying the Mario 64 one's ahead again. But it's so gratifying to see a new video, you know, do that well. So, you know, I mean, and, you know, it should just be blowing Mike's mind that like products he is making are things people are getting this excited about. I mean, could you even imagine that? Like that you made this thing and people are this excited about it? Like it's a cool position for him to be in, you know? It's gotta feel good.
And we are less than 8,000 subscribers away from 200,000 at this point.
There was I saw a something from Venesaria pop up. I don't see it in the chat. I saw it pop up on the stream though.
I see the 5. Oh, it's 5 Streamlabs.
Ah.
Five Streamlab dollars. Thank you. Saying amazing stream as always. You guys are the best. Sorry, I messed up my knowledge fact checking. Your videos and streams have come so far since you two started, and I think I can speak for most of us here when I say that we always look forward to great MLiG content. Well, thank you so much. Thanks. It's so crazy to think about, like, even when we started doing these streams, you know, like having like barely anybody watching.
Yeah.
And this, you know, and it's now we're closing in on 200,000 on the on the overall subscribers too. It's so crazy. Although, I guess a lot of people, when you see them hit that 100,000, it seems like the 200,000 happens really quick after that.
Not
But I
for
mean,
us.
it'll be 3 years or something like that to get that next 100,000, which is totally fine. I really have enjoyed the slower climb because the people that are watching and sticking around, they genuinely care. It's not like a viral video where people are subscribing for content that you just don't really make. You just got lucky in terms of something.
Yeah, well, and two, like this latest video, the YouTube analytics are saying this video is being watched by more of your subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's, you've got that base of subscribers that, seems to stick around. Yeah. I've not had any pressing need for a meteoric rise through YouTube.
Yeah. Anyways, is that gonna do it for us this week?
Yeah. I guess that will do. So,
oh, really quick, I see that Vanessa is saying YouTube algorithm doesn't like streams and videos on the same channel. Apparently, I think that I have heard that the way that we do it is good though, because it doesn't it doesn't look at unlisted videos in the same way. They don't like knock you for not having great retention for unlisted videos. So I think that has helped us.
And that may have just been a happy accident that we decide to do things that way.
Yeah.
But overall, it's definitely beneficial for us. So I have zero plans to change how we do streams based on YouTube algorithm anything. So
right,
because it works for us. It works for us the way we do it. So. Alrighty, well, we will see you next Sunday.
Thanks everybody who hung in there the whole night, and everybody who donated, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So thank you, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.